welcome to WolfScape's podcast. Today we are bringing you the month ahead, April. Today we have with us Agita.
Hello.
Plum.
Hello.
Rogue.
Hello.
Lauren.
Hi.
And our special guest today is Hyde.
Hi.
Emily. So we're going to start today with the fair. Because we've already touched on it and we've spoken about it a bit, we're just going to talk about how they've jiggled it and stuff.
And they're supposed to have changed the rate at which the tokens drop, but I've still not got a single one, so...
Yeah, because when they originally released it, it was the same XP and everything from what it was from last year, but obviously now there isn't the tokens. They realised that not enough tokens were actually getting changed up for the amount of people that were going to do the fair, because obviously there wasn't any token requirement, so they realised they had to up it quite a lot.
To be honest with you, I mean, for the reasons we probably stipulated in one of our own podcasts earlier, I went there, spent about 10 minutes there, made a few jokes about the fact that the mining thing was called Wang. Spent about 10 minutes doing that, went on the Claudia machine, collected half the eggs and just teleported out and went, I'm not going back to that anymore. So I think that was post buff, debuff, whatever they did to it.
Yeah, I have had I've had 3 tokens and about 6-7 fortune cards, like after the debuff. I did try it on the first day and I was like, I'm not even getting anything. I spent like about 2 hours there. I was like, no, I'm not doing this again.
I did the same.
Me trying to get the corrupted sigil.
I was dancing and just couldn't get anything, and I was dancing for about 3 hours, but like actually trying to change as well. So it was quite irritating. I've actually not received any tokens yet, and I've been here for quite some time, even today, doing it, so I've not really noticed any changes that they've made.
I haven't found all the eggs, and the eggs are supposed to be the easiest thing.
The eggs the same as last year?
Yeah.
They should just be on Wiki.
Are there any new titles or cosmetics this year than there was from last year?
Yeah, there's the egg hat. Oh no.
There's some new cosmetics, I don't know there's that much. There's Fairest of them all and Fair Maiden, Fair Squire are the titles.
Yeah, some of that.
I think there's... What they've added this year is something to do with... There's some sort of requirement for adding to what you had to do last year, so they've carried across the fact that if you found the eggs last year, you don't have to find them this year, and things like that. I think all I'm missing is the Yak Balloon token for the last title.
So they have definitely taken cues from the summer beach event and put into this so that you can continue and just upgrade your titles, your rewards, which that's a good thing then. I'll need to get stuck in doing that.
I don't know, I think I disagree. Like, there are so many titles in game now. There are so many different ways to show off what you do in the game now, that the titles for the fair are just fleeting. They're for people that like to collect lore and really want to sort of squeeze out every bit of lore in the game.
But it's not just lore, it's also about actual game content here. So like you said, you spent 10 minutes playing with the pickaxes and then that's you away and done this, whereas this is at least given some content to come back and try and at least achieve something from it.
But I think for the main sort of cache of players, going there to get another title that they aren't going to use again, I mean, it's more sort of as a future model for what they're going to release as rewards for separate things. Adding on titles is probably should be down the list of considerations for the rewards, just because like my title's never going to change now unless I get another boss collection title. There are so many different titles that you can have in game that literally I think everyone's got a title that they want or they will be working towards already.
I don't want to talk about it too much because we have touched on everything before, but has anybody else collected any tokens from the fair?
Yeah, I got the face paint token quite early on, actually.
Aren't those tokens maybe quite expensive?
Yeah, well, it's like examine GE price was 2 mil, but I put it on and it sold for 3.5 mil. So
Oh, nice.
Wow.
yeah, they're a decent penny at the moment, anyway.
Well, if only the FGK had sold like that.
My test of strength emote token isn't even selling for like 500k.
Oh.
So
Is that its base grand exchange price?
yeah, if I put it in the GE, it's like at 500. It won't
You
go,
know
but
these
it's
tokens are always well overpriced. You'll need to put that down to about 50 to 100k for it to really sell. It's the same as
I know,
the
but-
beach tokens,
Like,
really.
They
Yeah.
are keeping the value a little bit more because it is one of the requirements for the title.
Right.
Yeah, because I
I
think
think
I've bought
that's
mine
why
around 300k.
Yeah, I think that's why the title is in there, so people can literally go and buy all these up, and therefore they hold the value.
I suppose it's still giving a little bit of worth then.
So the fair is here throughout the month of April.
What do you think of not having the Easter quest in
I'm
place of the
upset.
fair? Yeah,
I've always preferred an Easter quest or a random, like, I don't know what they call them.
Seasonal event,
But-
seasonal quest.
but
Seasonal quest.
to be fair, the Easter quest last year was, for want of a better word, piss poor.
It was a stretch, yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a quest.
But I think they've had all their sort of big content developers and writers in terms of quests poured into something else.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean-
think they've quite had the manpower to stretch anything out.
Yeah,
for Easter.
But they've had the time to make Halloween ones. What's the difference between a Halloween one and the Easter one, you know,
Was it
other than Mod
was there
Raven?
much content around that time? Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, also last year, a lot of the work went into Manaforce, so...
Yeah. Which is fair enough.
But-
Menopause is a good area, but. So I'm going to move on to the main subjects of the month ahead video. So I really enjoy what I'm going to talk about next because it's one of the oldest ways to train firemaking before they brought out adding bonfires. So they're bringing back line firemaking and they're going to make it more XP worthy. So, you know, everybody's got this nostalgia about doing line firemaking, gosh, years ago.
Yep.
Times change.
Well, I think Batcat still does it.
Yeah, a lot of people still pick up ashes. And I remember firemaking was my first 99 when I came back to RuneScape.
'Cause
And
it's
I was
lit.
still, yeah, I was still doing line firemaking until somebody said, you know, you can add to bonfires now. And I'm like, why? You know.
Sorry, I face palmed at what Lauren said.
It was amazing.
But no, how do you guys feel about, most of us here have 99 firemaking,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
would you try it out first to see what the XP?
The only reason I can see that you'd want to do that is if you're actually going for 120 or 200 mil, not to
Oh,
actually
don't talk about
like
120.
train it recreationally. You just use bonfires.
I think it's this kind of variation of training methods that they're adding to skills at the moment. This seems to be like a thing where if you one ticket, if you can really input a lot into your firemaking, you'll earn a lot of XP.
They're trying to move away from the AFK scape.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 But I mean, there are two different philosophies then. Either every skill should have a variety of training methods, and you
That
should
is-
train the way that you want, or there should be some skills that are inherently more AFK and more input based than others, and they're sort of moving towards giving a variety of methods. Whereas firemaking in recent years become one of the more AFK skills.
Yeah, I mean, like, there are those skills that are pretty much always going to be AFK, like stuff like Div and like Thieving. Once you get to the point of Perif, is basically going to be AFK until you get
Well,
bored of training.
I mean, there's a lot of variety in terms of thieving, I think. And they're
Yeah,
adding
this is
more-
true.
I mean, that'll be the next topic we add on to. They're adding more training methods for that. It'd be interesting that people might be able to get stuck into a certain type of gameplay and never be forced to come out of that. Because even if AFK scape is lower XP per hour, there'll still be people that just
it
AFK
anyway.
scape as players. And then they inevitably have to overcome the hurdle of the skills that they already have. The problem is, if they're going to do that, they're going to have to balance that and add AFK methods onto the more click-intensive skills that we've already got to balance that out.
I think it's quite good the way they're giving Charged Training Ground a new reason
Yeah.
to go back and do it.
Yeah,
I think that'll be good. And depending on how rare the drop is going to be, obviously. But if it gets people going back and doing that once a week, it'll at least revive it for a short period of time. But yeah, it'll be nice to go back to like Varric and these type of cities and see all the big long lines of fire again.
It'll bring back the use of firelighters as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Which will
Coloured
be nice.
fires, yeah. I wonder if you'll be able to do it in Priff.
I doubtfully, because of how much.
There is line fire making in Brick. People have done it. I've seen it. And they've actually upgraded the graphics from fires recently, haven't they?
Yes.
It's only normal fires though.
Just normal fires, but if that's what they're kind of intending to do with this, it's a great move forward. The fires look great.
It seems like that was a little teaser of what was coming.
Yeah.
And we'd have known a bit more, we probably would have gone, oh, this is clearly a hint of what's to come. So maybe they're going to be building different types of log fires that improve graphics.
It's going to be heating up in April then.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how much money making could happen. I mean, there's obviously the methods of burning lower tier logs, picking up the ashes and selling them on. But if people could go in and sell these pitch cans, how much money they'd be theoretically making? Because that's what there's been a lot of demand for recently, is skilling only money making.
Yeah. And
Wasn't
they're
that
making
part of
progress
the
for it. That's part of
5-year
the 5-year
plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good actually seeing this start to come out, and it seems very simple things that they're able to do to bring this out, like just by adding gas canister to allow you to burn logs a little bit faster, so that you can get more XP for making a line versus just AFK on a bonfire. Small things like that will make a difference overall here.
Well, yeah, let's
it's
face
just
it.
a lot of quality of life improvements, basically.
The folk that are going to want the high intensity XP are probably people that have money to sink into things like the cans and stuff like that. So, but maybe don't want to go get them themselves. They want to just have constant XP, constant gains on their
That'll
account.
be your people like Reese who are just XP mad and just offering them this, okay, if you work for it, you're going to get more XP than the other person who's sitting AFK, or the only training method you've got just now. And I know people like him who are going for 120, 200 mil are just going to absolutely love updates like this.
Definitely.
Only one problem is like with bringing back line fire making is the only real memory I have of it is basically just bots.
Yes.
Yeah, but the nostalgia is real, man.
I know.
Adding an element of OSRS into it.
The
We're going
thing
to
is,
start picking and choosing the things we like from our SRS. There's a very long list.
But just
Well,
as that, like,
that's-
RuneScape had it first.
Yeah,
we
'cause it
take
is
the old
what-
school, have copied us, we had it first, we just evolved.
But I'm assuming they'll probably add more bot protection in anyway, just to make sure that's not abused.
Yeah.
Might even have lower level players hanging around these areas picking up the ashes.
So they're bringing out Safecracking, which is a new kind of thieving method. They're calling it the Elder Trees of Thieving.
Yeah.
So basically, castles and all these places have safes. People go crack them for loot and XP and points.
They said something about cash, but they didn't mention any explicit loot. So what they've mentioned so far is that it's AFK. So you can usually work out from there if it's AFK, sort of click intensive. So that means that you're either going to get a lot more XP per hour, but no loot, or a lot of loot and a very low XP per hour.
This sounds almost the opposite of the line fire making that they're making then, with it.
Yeah,
It's
well,
AFK.
a lot
Thieving.
more going into this thieving update itself. They're only teasing you with what this is, with all the stuff that they're going to be putting in. I know one of the things is you're going to be going to the likes of castles. You'll be getting a keepsake that you'll be able to display in Thieving Guild.
Right.
So you're going to have like a treasure area sort of thing that you'll be able to display, and I think it might give you some sort of similar to like how the Gothics Memorial to Gothics, I think it is, works.
Oh right.
Oh, prestiging almost, yeah.
So be able to put a lockpick and a stethoscope on your tool belt.
Ooh.
It's a bit like Slayer.
It will involve the players looting from treasuries across RuneScape. Players will gain experience while trying to open a safe with a larger experience drop when successfully opening the safe. Doing so will have the chance to gain legendary items, which will act as thieving perks that grant the player experience and hanky points. New tiers of hanky point rewards will be added, allowing the player to unlock additional loot bags and safe cracking techniques.
this seems a bit like so it'll be a click to consume reward, a bit like you get from deep sea fishing at the moment.
Yeah.
Like a stackable item that you can go, right, brief thieving, I can click that and get the buff, and that buff stays active for 30 minutes. I won't be stunned, blah blah blah. They won't tell me to F off when I'm thieving them.
Something to do with stunning, and then the other one was ignoring the fact that the clans are aware of your thieving. I think it was another one, wasn't it?
So assumably if you're on the road to 99 or 120, you'd be doing this alongside your other training methods.
Yeah.
Do an hour of this, stack up all the buffs that you can, and then go do 2-3 hours of priff feeding. So it's almost a variety thing to take your time off of camping, priff elves, doing all those feeding from them, or feeding from the dwarven warriors, dwarven traders.
See, because they've described it as elder trees for thieving, does that mean that you'll have to move location to location?
I would assume you would maybe get
Yeah.
caught
Only
in a
one will be
place,
it.
so kicked
Yeah.
out of it until a cooldown goes back, and then you can go back to it.
Yeah, so it's going to have like a kind of...
But that also suggests that all these safes are going to have the same level requirement and difficulty almost to get into.
Yeah, because it's the same for...
Trees are all the
elf,
same.
yeah.
To the clans in Priff, where there's going to be like a level or two between the different ones.
So you get caught and have to move on.
Yeah, you know, the actual doing the safes is going to be similar to how the elder trees work.
I mean,
But you're going to have the mechanics of the clans and the level requirements similar to the clans to be able to do this.
possibly, but I would assume that basically it takes a lot of actions to unlock one safe. Once one safe is unlocked, you've looted it, you have to go somewhere else while they go and replenish the stock of the safe, essentially. So that you spend half hour trying to unlock the safe Nardoon, per se. That gets unlocked. The higher level thieving you are, the quicker it unlocks. The minute it unlocks, you can't just shut the door and then try and re-crack it again because the loot wouldn't reappear. So an element of realism to it. And then go to the Varrock one, nick from Varrock, and then go back to Ardoon, maybe. That's how I envision it happening.
We'll find out soon enough, but there's quite a few things that seem to be going through people's head. It'll be interesting to see what actually does arrive when it's given to us to play with.
The next item that was mentioned was the rebuilding of Edgeville. After that quest, Edgeville was obviously in tatters, basically.
Destroyed
So-
by the Dragonkin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragonkin
Well,
Rampage.
during the month of April, they're going to bring out a rebuild where there's going to be loads of different, sweeping up bodies, rebuilding buildings, clearing the rivers, things like that, where you get various XP and different skills. So, my question to you guys is, what do you think it will be like? Would it be like the Ark first came out, where it was like a different skill every day? Or do you think it'll be like all at once?
Lord Raven has already spoken about this in a previous live stream. What he's aiming for with it, I think it's him that's working on it, going to be you're going to do these tasks, you're going to get like a small, medium sort of XP drop from each task, but it will be a one-time thing. So I don't know, I can't remember if he said he's going to release it sort of day by day, you'll be able to do a different task until it's done, or if you'll be able to just go out and do everything, get your XP drops and leave it, and just leave Edgeville looking nice again. But that was the premise of it, was going to be similar to, like, I think he said a medium XP lamp, or was it a Dragonkin lamp?
That was mentioned in the video, the Dragonkin.
Right, he's upgraded it since I'm pretty sure he said medium in his live stream a while ago.
Because they've added an extra level of reward, so for opening Dragonkin lamps now, you get a chance at getting
That was added after he spoke about it, because he didn't
they
mention any
weren't
of that.
clear on the video about it, but I think the effigy pet has to do with all Dragonkin lamps. But they'll be adding it in with the cleanup.
I think from what we see, I'm sure it was Mod Pie who was on the stream when he was doing it, and it seems to be you go there and you're able to do it all in the same day. So you could repair everything. I don't believe there's any level requirements. I think you can just go in and clean up and put Edgeville back to how it used to look, and just get your little bit of XP from doing it. So I don't think it's going to be one of these big community, it takes a week and so much help to get it back up and running. I think just after we go in and do it, that's it.
Yeah, like a quick 10 minutes so that they can, that's why they've got the effigies coming, the effigy pet coming alongside it, because it's probably not a big enough update for a standalone fix-up.
Yeah, so collect your effigies now, so that you've got a lot of stock of them, because you might get the pet if you open some of them.
Can you stack up the Dragonkin lamps? Because I know you can only have a certain stack of effigies, can't you?
I don't think they stack in your bank. I think that's the problem, is they stand alone as a bank space, so you would probably have to keep the effigies, not the lamp.
Didn't even know you could hold effigies, so yeah, that's a new one for me.
Yeah, they can go in your bank, but they don't stack, so like, and then they get less likely to get the more you've got in your bank or in your inventory. I think once you get the Dragonkin lamp, you have to keep it in your inventory, you can't then bank it, so you'd be better off just using the effigy rather than the banking the effigy, rather than the lamp. One thing you said, there'll be no level requirements. Obviously there will technically be, because you'll need the quest. Yeah.
I imagine there'll be more competition to get in World War D&D, because you can buy Dragonkin lamps from the merchant at deep sea fishing quite often. So alongside people jumping in there to get the merchant map for the arc, there'll also be people jumping in there to see if there's a Dragonkin lamp that day for the pet.
So next would be something we've touched on, obviously, with Safecracking, would be the new tool belt improvements. So they're going to make it easier to add more items in the future.
Yeah, they're updating the interface, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think the interface looks pretty decent now, actually. I like this all-encompassing one instead of having to, scroll horizontally to find them. You can scroll vertically to get everything in the one, which will make it a lot easier to, especially when you're checking your invention charges and stuff like that. It's a lot cleaner.
Yeah. It's a much smoother, much cleaner interface that they're proposing bringing out in that, so...
They have kind of made the hidey holes a bit useless though, by adding grapple to the...
With this enhanced grappling hook that's coming out, yes, the places we do have the original hidey hole for shortcuts, I do see them becoming almost obsolete.
But is that also a way of them moving towards this cleaning up the actual, the world? Because that was one of the things that was in the survey, wasn't it?
Getting rid of old content before...
Yeah, just sort of generally tidying up the world, on that...
I've got a few suggestions.
Mobilising
armies for a start.
That would be a nice one, yeah.
Yeah, well, hopefully this enhanced grapple will work with any crossbow. I think there's a limit to what your original grapple works with. It has to be a metal crossbow, because there's no point in putting a grapple on your tool belt if you can't fire it with. You have to buy a specific crossbow to carry in your inventory to use it. What's the point in having it if you can't just fire it with what you got?
I would assume this new one is going to be almost like an infinite grapple, so that we won't need to keep making a mithril grapple with a rope every time. So it's just, people don't really use that much, so I think this is a good update coming in, going, people don't use it, there's no real need for us to make them work a wee bit harder for it, just make it easier and give them an unlimited amount of it and let them stick their tool belt. It's absolutely fine.
That is a good point. When was the last time I used a grapple?
Yeah.
I needed to use it for a master clue.
That's it though, isn't it?
What was the master clue?
It's a Dogger dish can agility course. You to get the stuff you can use.
That, yeah.
Does it have a hidey hole down there?
I don't know.
So. No, there isn't.
No.
Because I did a master clue around there. You don't actually have to use the grapple to do it.
No.
You can just go the long way around.
It's quicker though.
But there isn't a hidey hole on that agility course from what I remember.
Such very few things in the game actually require a grapple anyway.
Yeah.
So, unless they're maybe planning on bringing more things out to do with the grapple in the future. And this might be again building blocks for it,
Yeah, more existing agility courses perhaps in the future.
That could be interesting if that's the case.
sorting agility out so you've got different ways of training it again, aren't they?
They were thinking in their survey about the high level Brimhaven agility dungeon. I wonder if we could possibly use a grapple down there.
Yeah, but they're also looking at different ways of actually training agility as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Because I remember back to the days where you used to go back and forth in the was it the Tunnels and Taverley dungeon that you used to go back and forth to get your XP?
I think so. Yeah.
It was the shortcuts and stuff used to give you agility XP, wouldn't it?
What would be absolutely amazing. I don't know if anyone's played Dying Light, but you get a grappling hook in it to obviously like extend to other buildings and stuff to like scale them up quicker. Maybe
like
that's
Batman.
what there's gonna be.
Yeah, like Batman.
I love the Batman grappling hook, like launching off the top of a building and flying. Maybe make the wings useful. I'd love to swing around Priff like Batman.
Next would be surveys. So they've said that they'll send more surveys to everybody about the ideas they've had for updates, so we can all vote and see, like vote on what we would like to see. It doesn't mean that, you know, the update would happen. It's just that it would give us more of an insight to what they've been planning.
I think it's fine as long as they do keep it to the RuneScape official forums. I really do not want to have to go to Facebook, Discord or Reddit to read it. I
Yeah.
want to go to the official RuneScape forums and have it all there. I don't want them having separate conversations away from there, no matter how much easier it is. If the whole point is they want all their players to be able to view it, they should make it accessible purely through their website to view it.
Well, this is the problem: is that like there's definitely loud contentions amongst the fan base in certain areas of the game that they know that they can go to these places and get data. I mean, it might even include things like what we're doing here, and I don't think that they get enough useful data from the surveys inside the game to make them viable. Perhaps it's a lot better direct feedback loop, the sort of feedback they want if they go on Reddit, and instead of going, okay, this new feature you've added doesn't work, they can go, well, why doesn't this new feature you've added work? And they get definitive answers from people, well reasoned out thoughts, and they get ideas for content from things like Reddit, things from YouTube.
I see it's
So
the
I don't know
opposite almost, where again it seems to be who's shouting at you the loudest
Yeah.
from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Think about it more of who's making their job getting ideas easier rather than who's shouting. They make it easier to use that data from them.
If all they're doing is compiling a list here and we're just viewing down the list and saying these are the updates, still posting in that one thread instead of it being spilled over many different websites, but it's going to be a lot easier to read and allow people to read other people's thoughts as well.
To be fair, if they do it like a SurveyMonkey link, it really doesn't matter where they post it.
It'll be
Because,
universal.
yeah, because people can just give their opinions on that SurveyMonkey link, and you know that'll be people from Reddit, from Facebook, from in-game, and it'll be on the forums as well. So like everybody has the chance, and it's just getting compiled in one list rather than you say like the Redditors that know that they can get a reaction from a JMod there shouting and then getting listened to. Everybody would get listened to from all aspects of the game.
So is it actually going to be a voting thing? I was just aware it was just going to be a list.
I think it was more that they wanted you to sort the priorities of the ninja fixes that they do. Really, you only really get to influence what ninja fixes come when, if you're a editor or it's Game Jam. They're kind of like, well, what ninja fixes do you want to see first? Because ninja teams tend to sort of just put around, fix what they fix each month. It gives a better way of sort of promoting what the ninjas do if you essentially feedback directly on what you want them to do and you're really happy with what they've done then. It gives them a lot more credit for what they're doing, I think.
See, I kind of seen it as another power to the player type poll, where they're saying this is what we want to do, and you kind of like the survey say if it's like 1 to 5 priority for you, and then they'll go from there. So it's like they're going back to asking us what do we want to see, rather than, you know, like they did
Just
a couple
giving
of
us
years
what they
back.
want.
Yeah,
Yeah, kind of like we pay, we save kind of thing.
yeah.
Which is right. If we're you know, a lot of people play the game religiously, and they might feel a bit upset or angry that they don't get a proper say in things. So I'm guessing that this new survey they're bringing out would give those players a chance to have an opinion on how their gameplay goes. Whereas a lot of the time, I didn't know what was going to be the week's update.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can all, and clans can already tell that we're not going to have much on it anyway. Clans will be right at the bottom,
Yeah.
if not on the list at all.
Yeah.
About how that they look and hand out updates to clans.
It's mainly because of the nature of the code of it all. It's like, I think one of the mods has said, like, it's easier just for us to redo clans completely than add a new skill plot.
Yeah. And I know that's why Mod Osborne's always told off in these live streams that they do to not call it spaghetti code, because that's what we were given for
I think
years
that's
as an
it,
answer.
yeah.
And it's not nice to hear. It's not nice to hear that the thing that you're part of and have been doing your absolute best in is getting pushed right to the bottom over other things. You know, I'm just going to call Solak out, and then they release numbers like 0.03% of the player base it's aimed for, and clans are 60%. That's a bit irritating, and I just foresee that also being part of this poll as well.
Like, if I'm honest, I don't care about sort of like, I'd much rather them fix clans or at least work on them.
I agree.
I think there needs to be a whole philosophy change on that, though.
Yeah.
About how we introduce players into the role of clans in the game.
Would you guys like, if a survey comes out, would you make it survey answered as soon as possible, or would you like, you know, like, oh, I'll answer it when I have?
Oh no, I'd go straight away, go have a look at it and give feedback if I felt it would matter.
It's like those polls that they posted where they used to be like Diamond, Ruby and Sapphire or whatever they called them.
Yeah.
Like I used to answer them as soon as they put them out because they were normally just like, do you want this, yes or no?
Yeah,
and
they
then
were
you
very
could see,
banal, though.
yeah, but if it's like a big thing like the survey, you know, that they just released and you're having to answer things like in a big list, which I don't imagine being so if they're trying to do this almost weekly.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a bit more concentrated, but if it is so big, I imagine you really want to have time to think about it before you put down your answer.
I mean, from what I can tell from the video, this was just about Ninja updates, but I think this is something that RuneScape maybe needs to take note of, how they counsel opinion from players in general, I think. I don't think those surveys that you were talking about are intrusive enough or deep enough to really get to the heart of the issues of like what people want to see from the game.
Yeah.
There needs to be more back and forth between RuneScape and players in general. If RuneScape say, well, this is our philosophy, this is what we're trying to do this for, that allows for better feedback from players.
The next thing would be, they said towards the end of the video, and keep your eye out for a surprise or two.
I think it's the big surprise.
So like this
It
month,
probably is-
I think it's
don't
even
think it's-
simpler than that. 1st of April is Monday,
Yeah.
so the first update.
No, it's bank holiday.
Oh, is that bank holiday? Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
Easter.
Yeah, it's Easter.
If they were supposed to bring out an update around then,
Well,
Then it would have been an April
5th of April
Fool's
is
one.
a Sunday anyway.
Yeah, they're not releasing it on Monday, they're releasing it on Tuesday and the update.
and it wouldn't make sense to release a April Fool's on Tuesday either. I'm still expecting something maybe on Monday, but I
Like they
think
did
that's
last
what they're
year.
talking about. They always put out like a silly fake BTS, and
Yeah,
I
there's
honestly
a party
was-
hats thing. There's a party hats thing. Been introduced into the game. Just trawling through Reddit, there was a thing of like a party hats ring that made you more likely to get party hats as a drop or something like that.
Was
They
it?
did that in as a joke.
Yeah, was it 2 years ago they introduced the mount?
Yeah, they've also
Actually,
put like
Terrorbird.
sailing and stuff
oh, that
in
was
it
old
before.
school RuneScape. Yeah, they brought out sailing.
There was a whole video about somebody getting a bank clerk as a pet.
Yeah.
But there were like fake updates last year of people receiving the April Fool's pet. I mean, I know Jen got quite a few, and she said, "I'm not even getting anything."
I doubt it will be so like. Otherwise, there would have been a bit of a more of a stir. They definitely should have put that in the video because that's the thing that's going to resonate with a lot of PVM people, which, like you say, they're trying to keep happy.
Yeah.
off the top of my head, I can't remember. Besides Solak, the Pirate Quest, Edgeville, I don't know what they've been working on as long-term projects.
I mean, you never know, they might have been keeping something from us.
It would be nice. It would be
That'd
nice
be
to be a nice little surprise.
Watch it all now just flop and be something really stupid.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
Cabbages.
Oh gosh, plus no.
Brassica Prime comes and destroys Gielinor. Turns out
Cabbage
she's
face
more powerful than
Fernando
Zaltan.
too.
Yay.
Cabbage Mounters are quite powerful when you do the Master Quest
Certainly
Clue
are.
Scrolls. Nearly killed Agita a few times on stream.
Well, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, there's been a few ninja updates that they've been announcing though. Mod Harrison's come out with one that allows you to override via sort of unoverridable pets. Lost pets in the past, so barrows, bobbleheads, now be overrides. Tiny Death, he'll now be an override. I don't know if they might even do it to Classic Jads. Classic Jad used to be a non-overridable pet, but they might fix that, maybe? That would be an interesting idea.
So there's also the tribal trials that are coming out as well sometime this month.
Mhm.
So how do you feel that would come about?
The pet looks interesting. I like the
Mm.
pet actually. I think it's going to be similar to, I think it is the Death Lotus or the Assassins. One of the two, it might be the same thing. One that we had a year or two ago, where you have
Scratch
to,
cards.
yeah, you click them off. I think it's
Oh, yeah.
something
Right.
similar to
Task
that.
cards, yeah. They've got a specific term for it, haven't they? I think it's either task cards or something like that.
It
Well,
sounds
like the
that, yeah.
faceless assassin we had earlier in the year.
Yeah, actually, might be very similar to that.
Yeah.
Well, they've done those kind of things before, like with the New Year's resolutions and things like that.
My
Yeah.
favourite one being the disco one, where I got the disco outfit.
They have called it a task card event. I'm
That's
not sure if the faceless assassin counts as that.
It
Yeah, it did.
kind
It
of
was-
was. No, it was. It's you go do the tasks and you get stamps from Treasure Hunter. So if you're buying lots of keys, you complete the task and complete the cards. And for lower level players, you essentially have to buy the keys to complete the cards. By
Yeah.
the looks of it, so it's going to be another microtransaction thing.
Would be nice if it was more like the Zodiac Festival that we had, where you could do a daily task and get so many currency rewards if it's currency based instead of stamp based.
I enjoy those rewards a lot because, like, those ones you can choose whether you hand it in for the cosmetics or you exchange it for like XP lamps and stuff like that.
They were quite broken because you could buy that currency and then essentially get like 1 million dungeoneering tokens a day. I heard a story about a guy getting gold accumulated just because like he'd done these events so much that he got free dungeoneering tokens from all these boxes.
So, with everything that was proposed in the video and everything that's due to come out this month, what's the thing you look forward to most? So I'm going to throw the question first, Hyde.
I mean, rebuilding Edgeville is going to be an interesting thing. It's not going to take very long, but it'll be nice to see what Edgeville actually did look like for the quest, because it's been quite a while now.
It's been what, 3 or 4 years now?
Yes,
it
well,
might
I
be even a lot more
added
now.
on the quest pretty much as soon as the quest came out, so Edgeville's been like that for as long as I can
Yeah.
remember. Other than that, I suppose Safecracking is going to be an interesting one. That's probably the one that I'll be looking forward to.
Yeah, same.
Lauren, what about you?
I'd say rebuilding Edgeville because it just, at the moment, it looks a bit of a mess, but also it gives the opportunity for them to graphically rework that bit of the map, like sort of fill in a bit between White Wolf Mountain, isn't it? One by Berthorpe and the GE, because at the moment it kind of looks a bit terrible, and while it's like kind of the same bit between the other side of the mountain, and then like they haven't done anything between those two massive areas, and with bringing in this update, it gives the opportunity to be able to do that.
Agita, what about you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Safecracking. Could be an interesting update, especially if there is more than meets the eye about it.
Yeah, I would like to see how they bring it about, really. Plum?
I'm gonna be sad and say I'm looking forward to the tool belt update.
That's not sad.
Just I like
mean-
things organised.
Yeah, that's just
Practical.
improving gameplay.
Yeah.
So you're well within your right to look forward to that most of all. But line firemaking would be another one as well.
See, that doesn't bother me too much because I'm already 99 like the most of us. You know, it's
Yeah, but
might be
so-
interesting to see it for a couple of weeks until it gets to a point where why are there so many fires everywhere? Why am I lagging?
Because it's so
Which I
lit.
think was the main reason I started doing bonfires was because of the lag in places. But we shall see.
Rose, or did you...
I'm actually like potentially excited for what they're gonna throw at us for April Fools. I've just looked at the month ahead post again on the website. It says all that remains is to keep an eye out for a surprise or two this
Yeah.
month. April has a habit of making falls of us all.
Yeah,
So they're going to come up with something funny, and that's probably what I'm looking forward to. It's not very. I mean, I like the idea of Safecracking and some of the buffs it will give to Thieving, but you know, I
You know
like
what
a nice
would be
joke.
really funny if we've just discussed this all and then they were like, that BTS was April Fool's.
I would cry.
Well, they've gone to a hell of a long length to do it, haven't they?
So, guys, thank you very much for tuning into another one of our podcasts. Remember that our social media links are towards the side of the screen. We also have Twitch links of some of our members in the description below. Remember to like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Ta-da.